So for today, what we're going to do is discuss this three objectives. First is what is a good usage figure? I'm pretty sure some of you guys are very curious about it. And then what makes Uprise successful, or what makes Uprise successful to any organization as your EAP, and then strategies to increase usage. I know earlier this year we had several campaigns or consultation with our well-being consultants about the program, and then recently we had catch-ups. Or AMs had catch-ups with you. Hopefully those things are fruitful, and then today we'll be sharing more strategies, how to campaign the program or how to have increase of usage within a price. All right. Okay. So before I start, expectations first. So I want to know if you are comfortable only, what is your expectation out from this webinar? So you can write it in the chat box, and hopefully I'll be able to achieve those. And if you have any questions, again, please don't hesitate to pop it in chat box, and later, right after, before we end this session, I'll try my best to answer everything. All right. Okay. Okay. Cool. No expectations. All right. Anyway, so okay, assistance and how I can get our staff to engage with Uprise more. That's good, Georgia. Yes, how Melissa, how to get guys use the system. That's good expectation. All right, later I'm gonna share a couple of strategies in relation to that one. But let's discuss first what usage is a good figure for a company, or for a company using an EAP such as Uprise. So usage for us is actually number of sign-ups over number of licenses that you have or number of employees that you have in a company. In a traditional EAP, the the number of usage or the percentage of usage is around 3 to 4%. When I say traditional EAP, these are like the EAP that is more into crisis management. Like you call them if you are in crisis. So they're around 3 to 4% in terms of usage for a company. For Uprise, though, our average Uprise usage is around 12%. And I reckon this is around 12% because Uprise have different kinds of services and not just for crisis management. So as you know, you have your digital platform, you have your manager assistance, you have your coaching or therapy service, you have this webinar as part of our Uprise service. So that's the range or percentage that we have in terms of our usage. And for the top 10% of Uprise clients, they have achieved 92% of usage for companies with 50 employees and below. And then 43% for companies with 50 to 150 employees, and then 30% for 150 employees and above. So those are like the top 10 Uprise clients, usage percentage that we have. So what is top 10 Uprise? So those are like the clients who consistently campaign Uprise, who came up with an annual strategy plan and things like that. And we are discussing this, and we are sharing this usage data, so that hopefully with the strategies that we're going to share later today or later during this session, if you will be able to apply it, ideally, or the ideal outcome is that you guys will have this kind of usage percentage as well. All right, cool. Okay, but what do you consider as a company? What do you consider as a usage? So as a usage percentage. So if you can put it in the chat box, that will be good. But other companies define their success of usage in different aspects. It could be number of well-being checks has been done in a quarter or in a monthly basis. It could be how many coaching or therapy session does the company or their employees have done in a year or in a quarter, or how they are using the digital platform. Yes, regular well-being checks. So, and also like such as webinar attendance, or the company or the employees attending webinar attendance that, or the webinars that their HR are promoting. So there are a lot of factors in terms of usage. And what I highly suggest is that you as a company need to like decide what do you consider as success usage or as a good usage for each of these factors, because there's a lot. So for us, it's going to be like number of signups, but for you as a company, what do you consider, as a good usage for your team? Okay, noted, Melissa. All right. Okay, cool. So now I'm gonna discuss. Okay, agreed, Melissa. So Melissa says that all of that, like, however, just to register and getting the guys to use the system. Exactly. Like, I think that's why our good usage starts with sign up, like sign up over number of employees that we have. Because if we don't encourage our employees to use the platform itself, we won't be able to get, the other factors of good usage. So that's good. All right. So now, the key for success and better usage with Uprise. So this time, I will now go to the strategies, or the tips that you can do in your team or in your company to have a better usage of the platform itself. So first, we have leadership support plus manager awareness, sending out regular well-being checks, reducing the stigma, which is very, very important, and then well-being strategy and consistency and follow-up. Right, and let's go through that one by one. Okay, but as we go through this keys to success areas, and only if you are comfortable, maybe you would like to rate your current situation for those key areas. Maybe you can put it in the chat box or write it down in your notebook. And I think those are like the factors that could be start of good discussion within your team. Yes. So, okay. All right. So for each element of those key to success, I hope like you can write it down or can assess, oh, where are we in terms of leadership support, reducing stigma and the like. All right. Okay. First, leadership support and manager awareness. If you have been talking with your account managers or with Uprise, or with some consultants of Uprise, I know for a fact that they've been reiterating that we need to get the buy-in of our leadership team, our people leaders, our management team, because having an EAP can't be done only by people and culture or by HR alone or by one person. It is a collective effort. And it should really start from top to bottom. So making sure that your leaders understand understand and know what is the purpose of having an EAP, whether it's a prize or whether it's other program that you have for your employees. They need to understand as your stakeholders, why are we having this, and so that they can help you guys promote the program that you have for your employees. So again, the approach is very top to bottom. Here in Uprise, whenever we have campaigns, we wanted to make sure that the leaders can relate to it first, and then it will trickle down, to the staff, to the last member of the company. So yeah, it's very top to bottom. And how can we do that? So getting leaders to do the program, making sure that your managers have signed up or actually using the program itself, but not to the point that we are making it a mandatory thing. It's really still encouraging them to use to use the Uprise and understand what is it all about. So manager understanding and using Uprise, because this tool is really going to be helpful for them. They are the ones who's having conversation with their staff members. They know what they're going through, and they don't have to solve all of those problems. Most of the time, your staff members or your team members just wanted someone to listen to and wanted to know, okay, what step can I do next? Or will you support me in this and things like that? And if you are a leader and you know what kind of tools that you have, your skills that you have and the tools and support that you have, you will be able to objectively help your team member with whatever they're going through when it comes to well-being or in mental health. And yes, so getting leaders to film a testimonial, make a video maybe, but maybe a good conversation during team meetings, town hall, and check-ins, coming from leaders will be really a good initiative. So that the companies, or not the company, but the employees would know that, oh, my leader is actually walking the talk in terms of promoting it. They just not provide it for the sake of it, but they're really using it and they are really advocating for it. So that's one thing. And hopefully we get that buy-in. Okay. All right. Yes. Toolbox topics monthly if possible from the price. Nathan, Melissa. Regular well-being check. So in this one, sending out regular well-being check from senior leaders once per quarter. So I know for a fact that HRs or the people in culture department are doing this or taking this initiative in making sure or reminding everyone to do their well-being checks. But it will also be good if your people leaders, people managers, or your leadership team rather will be sending out this kind of reminders from time to time. Because of this, they would be, have a good impact with your employees that, oh, my manager is actually doing it. Why not? I mean, I'm encouraged to do it. So that's the ideal outcome that we would like to have. Regular well-being check is very, very important, because here you will have an idea what is the psychosocial risk or psychosocial factors of your employees. Like, what are the top causes of stress of your employees, and what is the well-being state of your employees. So here in Uprise, again, we provide you quarterly reports and things like that. And as you know, we need to have like a minimum of well-being checks in a quarter for us to send you a good report. Hence, we constantly promote or remind our partners to constantly campaign this well-being check, because it's gonna be a win-win situation for you and your employees. So there, filtering your employees and collecting useful data for your reports. That's the purpose of well-being checks. And there, so again, well-being checks, and you get well-being score. And another purpose of that one is to know how many percentage is in within the high risk, the moderate risk, and the low risk. And part of Uprise service, I'd like to remind everyone that part of Uprise service is to actually also call proactively your employees if they are on the high risk part. We make sure that we proactively call them, proactively provide them support, so that they would know what kind of service or support that they can get from Uprise or from the company itself. So there, that's what we do. All right. Next is reducing the stigma. I might be going fast, but yeah, but I hope I'm making sense by now. Next is reducing the stigma, which is, I think, very, very important before you start campaigning or thinking of any strategies. Or if you are thinking of a strategy for your well-being program, I think number one priority is to reduce the stigma. As we all know, not everyone really get the buy-in of having mental health support. Some people will ask, like, what is mental health, or what is well-being program, things like that. Is that a mandatory thing, blah blah blah. But I think it's important as a company that we provide a safe space for our employees to discuss this kind of issues, to discuss this kind of concern. And this is kind of related to getting the leadership support, making sure that the stigma is reduced from top level management up to the last staff members that we have. How do we do that? Making sure that we are having open conversation. We may be having some initiative or activities that tackles and educate our employees about mental health, In Uprise, what we have here is a positive psychology activities handout that you can access on our implementation page. Some of you have it. If you haven't downloaded yet, please do so. You can have it on our implementation page. And then, yeah, join webinars as a team, such as this, Launch and Learn. So, Uprise conducts, positive psychology webinars every now and then. And hopefully, it could be like a regular activity of your team to join Launch and Learn webinars such as this. If you want to do your own webinar or private webinar for your team with a specific topic in mind that you would like to tackle, you can also actually do so. And then I guess give your team space and time to participate in your initiatives. Again, we don't want to make it or sound it more of a mandatory thing in using the platform itself. It should be always voluntary, right? So there, those are like um, things that we can do in reducing the stigma, making sure that we are providing a safe space and a trusting environment whenever our employees talk about their well-being or mental health issues. So cool. All right, well-being strategy. So I know not all company maybe can afford to come up with a well-being strategy, but ideally, this is something that we hope all of our partners could have within their organization. It's really useful and really helpful if a company has their own well-being strategy. So having an EAP is one thing, but being consistent about it is another thing. And if we are, or if we have a well being strategy, we are more consistent because we are more structured, right? So it's not just a one time thing that you launch it, you promote it once, and that's it. You renew right after. It's a consistent process, it's a constant process of campaigning it, reminding everyone about it, and coming up with different initiatives or programs related to it. So it's not just, okay, we have an AP, that's it. If you can think of, different programs for your team about well being and mental health on a monthly basis, in a quarterly or biannual, that will be good because that will also help you guys reduce the stigma of using or getting a support with an EAP. So, there also in our implementation page, we have a well-being strategy template handout that you can download. Hopefully that you'll do that. Again, running your own initiatives. I have certain clients that they do have, let's say, a well-being hour or like a mindfulness hour, like 10 minutes in a day. They would spend. They would allow their employees to have a mindfulness hour to relax and just be present and take good care of their well-being, maybe doing uprise thing or other well-being activities in the company. I also have a client. We also have a client who constantly do manager training, constantly do webinars for their teams, for their managers, leaders, and staff members, and their employees love it. So yeah, those are the things that maybe you can do in terms of your own initiative. And then, yeah, we also have 5 pillars of well-being framework. So having a framework is also really, really important, and because that can help you come up with your own well-being strategy, that is in line with your mission, vision, and maybe EVP and company culture holistically. So yeah. So well-being or EAP is no longer an option. I think the silver lining in 2020 is that companies are now realizing that providing this kind of support is something that employees really need and something that employees really appreciate. So I guess in terms of maximizing what you have or what you can offer for your employees in terms of this part of the business or this initiative, a strategy is gonna be really helpful. Okay. All right. Last but not the least is consistency and follow up. So, consistency and follow up, as mentioned, it's not just a one time thing that you launch the program and that's it. We have to make sure that we consistently follow up and get feedback from our employees about what they think about of Uprise or your initiatives in general. So again, getting feedback from employees because this is for them is really important so that you would know what they need or what they want to see from this program itself. Maybe in your pulse survey, you could have their a free text section wherein they can just share whatever they want to share about their status within the company or what they can see or what they would like to see as an initiative from the company and things like that. And again, monitor your success metrics. So, what is good usage for you? Making sure that you are monitoring it, making sure that you know that, okay, am I achieving this? Am I getting this kind of, yeah, success rate in terms of particular aspect, maybe such as well being checks on a quarterly basis, and things like that. And iterate that yeah, this is an ongoing process. As mentioned a while ago, it is no longer an option to provide a service. It's a good thing company realize that this is something that their employee needs, and we have to make sure that we constantly improve things, right? For any companies that is new to this, don't feel bad if maybe for first few months you have low utilization and things like that. Things can improve, and it's a process. It's a change in culture. It's a change in mindset, and hopefully, as you go along, as you get feedback, as you get your support, you would know what work and what doesn't work for your team in terms of different kind of initiatives that you're thinking for them. So yeah. Excuse me. I guess that's it. Maybe for key takeaways. So first is, again, get your leaders involved with the program. Make sure we get their buy-in. Second is send regular well-being check because that will be helpful for you to know what is the well-being status of your team, what are the psychosocial risks of your team right now, so you can mitigate it. Next is normalize well-being conversation, providing a safe space for your employees to discuss well-being, mental health issues, and things like that. And you, as their leader, maybe as a people and part of the people and culture team, or yeah, basically leader and manager within the team, you have to remind yourself that you don't have to solve these things. Hence, you have a prize to support you whenever you encounter this kind of issues within the company or within your team members. So just most of the time our team members just needed someone for them to listen to, right? And then again, build a strategy. Make sure that it's not short term. If you can make it an annual thing, it can make if we can make it really as part of the company strategies, that is really really ideal. And keep on learning. Make sure that yeah, you attend webinars such as this, or you get feedbacks from your team members, from your colleagues, from your leaders on what they would like to see out from their EAP provider or for whatever initiatives that you're providing them. So yeah, cool. Okay, I'm in a chat. All right, questions. I think I have a couple of minutes for questions. So, all right, okay. Kate asked, is there a way of filling out well-being check without having to sign up? Kate, unfortunately, there's none. You really have to sign up within the app for you to do the well-being check regularly. So the first thing that you have to do actually when you sign up with Uprise is an onboarding survey, which is a well-being check and a stress check. And then as you go along within the platform, and if you find time, you can do your monthly or regular well-being checks. So you really have to sign up for you to do that. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay. What is the minimum again? Charlotte answered it. What is the minimum well-being check in a quarter? Minimum is 10 well-being check. And ideally, your employees will do this again on a monthly basis, not just once upon signing up, but regularly, so that we will get a good post course data information as well. Cool. All right. So, any other questions? Oh, okay. Yeah, haven't I agree, Kate. Yes, I'll take note of that feedback, Kate. But yeah, right now you have to sign up. But you only have to like yeah you at first or at the onset really have to sign up for you to do the first well-being check. And then afterwards, the next thing that you have to do is just open your app and do the well-being check again. But I'll take note of your feedback and give it yeah. Okay, cool. All right. um Maybe for me before I end this session, so other options that you can have is visit our implementation page for additional resources. So for the handouts that I've discussed a while ago, you can access those on our implementation page. You can also relaunch anytime. So if you have Uprise for quite a while now, and if you think your team needs some refresher about the program itself, please do reach out to your account manager so they can set up a relaunch for your team. So we can always do that. And then inquire about additional options. So if you're thinking of having an executive briefing to get your leadership team on board, we can do that as well. If you want to do a manager training, like a mental health manager training, we have services for that too, and tailored company webinars, as mentioned. All right. So yeah, then again in the implementation page, we have some tip sheets right there that you can access. So maybe you can use it whenever you have an idea about your psychosocial risk and things like that. So there. That's it for me. Thank you very much. Sorry, Charlotte.
Say thank you so much for that, and thanks everyone for your questions and feedback. I will make sure to share it with the team, and we really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. All right, thank you. Bye,
Bye.
Kim.